Okay.
It's our lunchroom.
This is Tea Room Talk, take 2. We've got an evening meal with Gary Reynolds.
A couple of cowboys.
And he's got his business here at Game Signs. We're just having a bit of a break, about to have dinner, we're pretty hungry. But Gary, I just got a couple of questions for you. You've helped many men immensely in their marriage, and women and couples, and you've given them direction about love and about life and how to make a marriage work. What would you say to someone who's saying, my marriage is not working? How would you help them?
Well, it's fairly common. Well, first off, you have to understand that there's a system in place. It's like a road. Like, if you want to drive through the bush, you can, but you're going to run over logs and troubles and down gullies and up, and got to get lost. But there's a system in place, and if you follow that, it's clear sailing. It's very, very fast, very easy, and it's honeymoon avenue all the way.
That sounds great.
It is good. Yeah.
And what about someone who doesn't feel love for their partner? Like, you know, we want to love them, but we haven't felt love, and we want to know the best way to love them. Like, for a man, my perspective is, you know, I want to love my wife because I know she's a good woman, and she's a beautiful woman, and she's kind and she's loving. And my communication is not, you know, going great at the moment. She's not really communicating. How would you suggest? Like, you've told me a way before, like God's way. How? Just explain that again.
Well, this is I think this is an issue of romance books. This is romance book theology. Okay, it's not how the world really works. The best illustration of a marriage in the Bible is Isaac and Rebecca, an arranged marriage. They never met each other, but they decided, they made a decision to be in love with one another, even though they didn't know anything about each other. And she was brought in and found by a servant, and the servant sort of coaxed her to come. And so it was, and most of the world operates like that.
I've got it.
Most of the world operates through arranged marriages.
Arranged marriage. I just want to comment on that, Gary, because one thing I read in this book I'm going to ask you to tell us about
make a decision.
Is God chose this person for you, and you've got an opportunity that person will give you the blessing in your life or the need in your life for love in the area that you need it. That they will be able to complement you as a man, that the woman is the helper. It's another word for the Holy Spirit. Now that sounds very mystical, doesn't it? But it's not really. That woman can be your helper, that man can be your helper, is an amazing thing, that we complement each other as man and woman. We become one flesh, and we become better as a unit. We have prosperity and love for our families, for our friends, for ourselves. And I know that book there says, do yourself a favour, love your wife. What's the meaning of that? Where did that quote come from?
That comes from Ephesians chapter 5. That one, that's actually, he's quoting it from the Living Bible, which is a very easy to read Bible. Living, awesome. Paraphrase. If you don't want to call it a Bible, it's a paraphrase, but it was written in about the 70s, just like we have the Message now, or the Passion now, just something in the local language, you know, just the easy language of the day, just for enjoyable reading.
Awesome,
not for study,
Want to open a page there?
Sure.
We've got marks.
What do you got?
Someone's highlighted that.
I'm being set up.
Gary's going to read a verse.
I got these books in America because it's out of print in Australia, but you can still get them second hand in America.
You can open up any page and then it's got jewels of wisdom.
Oh, absolutely.
And this tells you that you can be filled with the Spirit and completely have your life turned around in an hour, as Gary says. An hour with Gary, and his system is not his system, God's system. God's system is to build a person up, to let them be encouraged, to love and to feel loved. Then you can bring up anything and say, oh, sweetheart, you're so good at understanding that. I just want to thank you, and we can move on in here, in this situation. And then you move on and you make a plan for each other, to work with each other, to love each other, and your family and your friends, and then you move on. Now, I want to give one warning. From chapter 7, you'll find really good, inspiring stuff. Chapter 1 to 6 is a big ask because it shows you reality of what you're like as a man. You've made the conquest for the woman.
Pretty true.
You've given her some encouragement, and then as a man is so ambitious, you know, there's vanity and vanity. All is vanity when we're chasing our own dreams. But if we work together with the woman, the two become one and stay one, and we communicate better. Take it away, Gary.
What do you want me to read?
Give a quote.
Which one?
This one.
That
here.
one there, is it? Okay. That's quoting from the Bible, the Living Bible again. The more lowly your service to others, the greater you are. So be the greatest. Be a servant. Oh, doesn't make sense, does it?
Be the greatest. Be the greatest. Be a servant.
Be the greatest, be a servant. Doesn't make much sense in the world, does it? Unless you're public servants.
Some of them are great. Our
Yeah.
Prime Minister, Scott Morrison's an awesome guy.
He's an awesome guy. But those who think themselves great shall be disappointed and humbled. Ooh, don't like that.
Oh, don't like being humble, man.
And those who humble themselves, hey, this is it. If you get in first, with the humbling, you get exalted. Woo! Woo! Yeah.
Be loved, man.
Yeah, get exalted.
You lift the other person up.
Yeah.
They're lifted up. They're encouraged. You're encouraged, especially in a marriage.
Die to yourself.
Thank you, Gary.
Yes.
Die to yourself.
Amen.
Do yourself a favour. Read
Love
this
your
book.
life.
It's
Yeah.
found online.
Have some beans. Have some toast.
But talk to Gary, talk to me, and about marriage, it does work when you do love your wife. You love
It does.
yourself.
Wonderful thing.